Hi, I'm Ellie from Klum House, and I'm going to show you how to customize your zipper pouch and turn it into a crossbody bag. So I'm going to show you how to hack your Pendleton zipper pouch and add an adjustable crossbody strap to turn this into a crossbody bag. So this is a really exciting hack here, really great customization, and let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a Pendleton zipper pouch, and we're going to add some D-rings onto the side, and then we'll attach the crossbody strap to that. So before we get started, we need to actually make the crossbody strap. So let's start with that. I have a 3/4 inch leather strip here that we sell online. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down into 2 pieces. So let me actually show you the anatomy of the strap so that you could see where we're gonna go with this. We're attaching 2 leather tabs onto each side of the zipper pouch, and those have D-rings on them. And then attached to the D-ring is 1 piece of the strap that has a buckle attached to it. So that's this here. And then the other side of the D-ring has the longer strap attached to it with holes punched into it so you can adjust the buckle. So there's kind of 3 things going on here. We're gonna attach the D-rings to the pouch, then we're gonna construct the buckle strap and attach that to the pouch. Then we're actually gonna attach this on and punch holes on here. And there's a part where you can try this on by using craft clips first to make sure that you get the straps the right length for your body. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with getting these straps, and then we can attach the D-rings onto the bag. So I have my leather strip here, and I'm gonna cut 2 pieces. 1 piece I'm gonna cut at 12 inches, and the other piece I'm gonna cut at 45 inches. So let's start by getting a nice straight edge on the end of the strap. And honestly, if you wanted to, you could cut these instead of using a rotary cutter. You could use a round end punch and make the straps a little bit more elevated, but you don't need to cut them with a round end punch to round them. You could just use straight ends and use a rotary cutter, but I'll show you how to do both. So I got my leather pen here, and I'm gonna measure into this leather strip for 12 inches. The first mark is actually just gonna be a 1/2 inch in from the end, because I'm gonna show you how to do the round end punch. And it's always nice to do a round end punch when you're not exactly on the very edge of the end of a strap. So I'm gonna start a 1/2 inch in there, and then I'm gonna measure my 12 inch here. So I'm just making a mark with my silver pen, and then I'm gonna measure a 1/2 inch over, because if I'm using a round end punch, I don't wanna share a line there, whereas I would share a line if it was a straight cut with my rotary cutter. And then I want this to be 45 inches. So I have my 24-inch ruler, and I'm gonna align it with that silver pen mark all the way to this end of the ruler, kind of pinch it in place with my fingers there, and then work it down for another ruler's length. So that's 48. And then I'm just gonna come over, oh, that's 48. Okay, well, let's do it at 48 then, because that's just easier. So I'm gonna show you how to get the strap in the end the right length for your body anyways. So we're just cutting it down so we're not working with such a huge strap as we attach all the holes and everything. Okay, so then any excess leather is just scrap you can use for another project. All right, so let me show you how to use the round end punch, which you'll need a cutting board and a mallet and your round end punch. And let me just stress here too that you don't actually need the round end punch to do this project. So I'm just gonna use it on one end, and I'll use the rotary cutter for straight cuts for the rest of it, just so you don't feel like you need to get this tool to make this project, okay? But if we're using a round end punch, we just wanna align the apex of the round part on the round end punch with one of the silver pen lines that we made. And I'm just holding the round end punch vertically aligned on a cutting board on my leather strap, and I'm gonna strike it with my mallet here. And that's as easy as that. So there's a nicely punched round end on my strap there. So I'm gonna treat this end as my strap that is the adjustable part of the buckle. So let me just show you that again right here. You have two straps going on, and there's a shorter strap here that's gonna be 12 inches, and that's the buckle strap. And then we have this longer strap, and this is the adjustment strap. And I just punched a round end on my adjustment strap, okay? And I'm gonna use my rotary cutter to just cut straight ends on the rest of my straps. So let's do that with this 12-inch piece right here. I'm gonna cut it down to straight ends and 12 inches long. Okay, I'm just making sure that my cut is going to be perpendicular to the side edge of my strap so that it's not crooked. All right, so let's go ahead and construct this buckle strap. The first thing we're gonna do is construct the buckle strap, and we have to get marks into the buckle strap so we know where to punch the holes. So working off of one end of the buckle strap here, I'm gonna use my leather pen, and I'm gonna make a mark 1/2 inch in from one of the edges of the strap and centered vertically on the 3/4 inch. So half of 3/4 inch is 3/8, and then we're 1/2 inch in. So 1/2 inch in here, 3/8 of an inch up from the bottom. There's my first mark. That's gonna be a hole there. We're gonna punch an 1/8 inch hole. And then working our way in, I need another mark that's at 2 inches in from the very end of the strap. And then lastly, I need a mark that's 3.5 inches in from the very end of the strap. So we're making 3 holes here eventually. So we need 3 marks: 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 3.5 inches. Now we're gonna come down to this end here, and we're gonna make a mark at 1/2 inch in and 2.5 inches in from the 12 inch here. So 1, 2.5. All right, so now we have 5 marks in here. This end will be to attach a buckle, and this will be to attach the strap to the D-ring on the bag. Now there's 2 different ways to make holes in your straps. The first way is with a cutting board, an 1/8 inch drive punch, and a mallet. And then you just want to vertically align the drive punch over one of the marks and hit it with the mallet on top of a cutting board. Okay, so we can get some holes into our leather that way. And one more here. And then if you want, instead, and if you have one, you can use a rotary leather punch. And we sell these on our site, and they're really easy to squeeze. They actually have a hydraulic assist on them. And we're on the 1/8 inch drive punch on this one, which is the 3rd smallest one there. So then you could just align that over a mark and squeeze it, and that will punch the hole too. All right, so now that we have our buckle strap constructed, we're gonna go ahead and attach the buckle and set a rivet for the buckle. The main thing you wanna do here is you wanna make sure that the buckle is facing the correct direction, All right, so I'm actually gonna pull in our finished one here and just explain that a little bit. So here's the buckle attached to the strap. This is the front side of the strap. So you can see that's the nice side of the leather. And here's the back side of the strap. Now the middle part of the buckle, the tongue, sticks up through one of the holes, which is the middle hole here that we punched. And then we align the first and the third holes to set a rivet into that. And the one thing you want to pay attention to is you want to make sure that the little crook in the tongue of the buckle is actually laying over one of the bars here. So you can actually look at the anatomy of your buckle, and if you flip it up like this, you could see that the crook in the tongue is actually not laying over the bar. So this would be incorrect for the buckle to be set up. So the buckle should be set up like this with the crook in the tongue laying over a bar here. So let's go ahead and hold it like that as we go and set this. So I'm going to take my buckle strap, working on the end with the 3 holes. I'm going to thread my buckle strap, which is right side up, under the bottom bar here. And then I'm going to push the tongue of the buckle in through that center hole and then thread the leather piece back under the other bar. Okay, and then the last step is to actually swivel this so that my 2 holes in my leather are aligned right there. And that's where I'm going to stick a medium double cap rivet. Now, if you're working with thicker leather, you would probably need to size up in your rivet. So that's just a note there for you. And I'll connect the cap. Now, actually, this isn't set yet. So I have a moment here to check, does my buckle look correct? And what I want to look for is the 2 bars here, and then the tongue and the crook of the tongue resting on the top bar there, right? So that looks great. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over, hang my buckle off the edge of my stone slab because it allows my rivet to set vertically a little bit easier. And then I'm going to go ahead and just set this with a hammer. All right, so I can tell that my rivet is nice and set because it's indenting into the leather there. And when I hit it, I started with some light strikes to medium heavy force, and then I sort of hit it a little bit heavier in the last few strikes to really set that rivet. So now that I've constructed my buckle strap, I'm gonna go ahead and put this aside, and we're gonna cut some holes into the other part of the strap, which is the adjustment strap, and then we'll go ahead and set the D-rings into the bag. So here I have my adjustment strap, and let's go ahead and make some marks in this. So I'm gonna actually be more concerned with the adjustment part of the strap that connects to the buckle. So let me show you that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and thread this into the 3rd hole and back in. So what we're actually gonna do is we're going to attach just the buckle strap to the bag and thread this part of the adjustment strap through the buckle. And that's gonna actually allow you to try this pouch on and use a craft clip to get the length of this the correct length for your body. So we won't punch the holes yet to attach this side of the strap to the D-ring, but we will punch the holes now to attach the adjustment side of the strap to the buckle, because we'll use that as our constant as we adjust the length of the strap here. And when we get that right, we'll set a rivet in there. So working with just the adjustment holes, I'm gonna measure from the very end of my round end of my strap, because remember I cut that with the round end punch. I'm gonna measure 1.5 inches in, and then I'm also centered on my 3/4 inch strap, so I'm 3/8 of an inch up. And then I'm gonna keep measuring 1.5 inches in so that I've marked 5 holes. So 1.5 inches, 3, 4.5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 1 more, 7.5. All right. So let's go ahead and punch those holes using your rotary punch or your drive punch. The rotary punch is really great for strap making because it's super quick and not quite as loud. All right. So this is prepped up to the point that we need it prepped in order to check and make sure it's the right length. So I'm going to put this aside and then we'll attach the D-rings onto our zipper pouch. So here I have my zipper pouch and my D-rings here. And the first thing that I'm gonna do is I actually grabbed some 3-inch straight end leather tabs. So you can buy these leather tabs in a 4-pack off our site, or you're welcome to just use your leftover scrap leather from cutting the crossbody strap and the buckle strap to construct these 2 tabs. And if you're making them yourselves, you want to make them 3 inches long, and you want these holes to be a 1/2 inch in from each end and just centered on the 3/4. But I have these pre-prepped leather tabs from our shop. So I'm going to take the D-ring and thread it through a leather tab with the right side of the leather face out. I'm going to open this here because I want to make sure that the lining fabric in here isn't bunched up in a weird way before I go and attach this D-ring on here. And I'm actually just going to slide this on to the pouch. And what I want to do is I want to be below the bulk that's happening here with the seam allowance of attaching the zipper and the side seam here, which is why these tabs really need to be the 3-inch long tabs and not the 2.5-inch long tabs. So let's just grab a jumbo craft clip and get this clipped into place for a second so I can give you some of these measurements here. So using my seam gauge, just because it's a nice, easy, small measuring device, you can see that I'm about 3/4 of an inch down from the top of the wool here. So from the top of the wool till the top of the leather tab, I'm 3/4 of an inch. And that feels like a really nice spot. The other thing I'm really looking at is my tab wrapped around my zipper pouch evenly? And that feels really good too. So I'm actually gonna pinch this tab in place just like that and grab my Clover Chocopel pencil and make a mark through the hole in the leather tab onto the Pendleton wool. And that's where I'm gonna punch a hole, okay? So using either your rotary leather punch or a drive punch, go ahead and get a hole all the way through your whole pouch. So see, all the way through the back and all the way through the front, we're just punching a hole there. Now I'm gonna use a large double cap rivet because I'm going through a lot of bulk. I'm going through 2 pieces of leather and a piece of wax canvas, a piece of wool, and 2 lining pieces, so it's pretty thick. Okay, and so you could see the rivet poking up the other side here. Don't forget to put your D-ring on your tab and then wrap your tab around onto the stem of the rivet here, and then we're gonna connect a cap there. All right, so let's go ahead and set this rivet now so it doesn't pop off, and then we'll move over to the other side of the pouch. All right, I'm gonna make sure my rivet is vertically aligned and I'm on a hard surface here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and set this rivet, starting with light to medium strikes, and then increasing the force as I see the rivet set down. And then I can tell that the rivet is set because I can see it pinch into the leather there. And that looks really nice there. So let's go ahead and do that on this side too. Okay, I'm reaching inside my pouch, making sure that the lining isn't bunched up in a weird way. Thread your D-ring on, and then pinch around the pouch there. I'm gonna clip it into place temporarily with a jumbo clip, then we can go ahead and check where that is and make sure it's even with this one. So I'm about 3/4 of an inch down from the top of the wool there. That looks really good. Grab your fabric pencil and just mark through the hole in the leather to get that place that you're gonna punch a hole through all the layers of your fabric. Okay, I'm just double checking that my lining is not bunched up there and that everything looks even and good. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use my rotary here. Oh, actually, let me show you all, because I used my rotary on the other side. Let me use my drive punch this side so that you can just see both techniques happening. Okay, so it's a lot of layers there, so we really wanna make sure that we punch a hole all the way through all the layers, all right? So grab your leather tab and your D-ring and your large double cap rivet, thread the rivet in through the leather and then in through all your layers of fabric. There we go. Okay, there we go. So I had to kind of finagle the rivet stem through all the layers of fabric, but I got it through. And then connect your cap there. And then set that rivet. Using a hammer. Great, so now I have my D-rings attached to my pouch and that's looking really cute already. Then I'm gonna go ahead and attach my buckle strap onto my pouch. So here's my buckle strap. Now I wanna just make sure I'm on the right side of my leather here and the right side of my pouch, which is having the Pendleton face up. And then I'm gonna thread my strap through my D-ring. Now I'm on the right side of my pouch, so I wanna attach my buckle strap to the right side of my pouch. So this is just gonna be standard for right-handed people, so that your buckle is easy to grab and adjust on the right side of your body. And now I have a medium double cap rivet here, and I'm gonna thread it through the strap, and then also through the other side of the leather strap and connect the cap. So now I'm on the back side of my pouch, and I'm gonna set that rivet, which attaches the buckle strap to the bag and gets us closer to finishing this. So go ahead and hammer that to set it. All right, so we have our buckle strap attached. And then we can grab our adjustment strap. And what I want you to do here is thread the adjustment strap into the buckle just the way you would thread a belt buckle. And let's go ahead and use the center hole here. So remember we punched 5 adjustment holes. We're threading the buckle tongue into the center hole, so the third one up, as if it's just set up and ready to go and wear. All right, so now you can take your strap, making sure it's not twisted or anything, and go ahead and thread it through the other D-ring, coming in from the front to the back. Now we started with either you started with a 45-inch long or a 48-inch long strap. Doesn't totally matter, but we're gonna go ahead and thread this in through the back there and connect a jumbo craft clip there. Now's the point where you're gonna try this on your body and make sure that you don't pull on it too hard. You might even wanna connect a couple caps there or a couple clips there. And you just wanna see where it's gonna land. Now for me, I always like my crossbody straps to land so that my bag is at my hip. And I've made enough bags to know that this bag is at my hip if this strap here is cut to 45 inches long. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down to 45 inches inches long and show you how to attach a rivet onto this side and attach this strap onto the D-ring. But the first thing that you want to do before you decide how long you want this strap to be is to actually try this on your body and see where you want it to land. There's a moment here too where if you want and you know you like to wear these really high, especially if you're like cycling around or something, you might want to make a strap that's really short so that when you throw it over your shoulder, you have this pouch that sits really high on your back and is tight to your body for when you're riding bikes around. So it's totally up to you how you want to use it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and unthread this strap here. Put this aside, and then we're gonna punch a few more holes into this strap, okay? So remember, this is the adjustment strap. I'm gonna grab my ruler here and my leather pen and measure this out. So there's 24 there, and I want 45. So then if I'm 20 more, I'm like doing this math in my head, that's 44, but I want 45. So I'm gonna put where I pinch this where my fingernail was is at 21. And that means that I can draw a line here at the 0, which is essentially the end of the ruler, and that's what I wanna cut. So I'm just gonna cut that with a rotary cutter, cutting my strap to the correct length for my body, which is the 45-inch strap. So I'm 5'8", and I have pretty long legs. So that's just a length that works for me. So now that I have that cut, I just want to add a couple more marks here in order to get a rivet in there to attach this strap to the D-ring, okay? So the first mark is a 1/2 inch in, and then the second mark is 2.5 inches in from the very edge, okay? And those marks are centered on the 3/4 inch height here, so they're 3/8 of an inch up. We have a 1/2 inch here and a 2.5 inch in there. And then you can grab your rotary cutter or your drive punch and go ahead and punch those holes. All right, now this strap is ready to attach to our pouch. I'm just gonna make sure that I am on the right side of the strap and the right side of the pouch, and I'm gonna thread it in through the front of the D-ring there, right? So you can double check this and look at it and say, okay, this all looks correct and nothing is crooked. And you can go ahead and take your medium double cap rivet, thread the post into the leather, both pieces, flip it over, connect the cap. Now we're on the back side of the pouch, and then you can go ahead and set that with your hammer on a hard surface. Great, and that is how you connect a crossbody adjustable strap to your zipper pouch, creating a whole nother bag. So this is a really fun customization. It really takes your zipper pouch to the next level, and you can make it unique for whoever you're making it for or for yourself in how you're actually going to use it too. So really excited to show that to you and have fun making it.